7 animals that can live after death. Cockroach. Cockroaches are famous for their tenacity and are frequently regarded as the most likely creature that will survive a nuclear war. They are capable of surviving without their heads. In fact, they can continue to do so for 2 weeks. But how do these bugs survive decapitation? Well, in contrast to humans, cockroaches don't bleed profusely when their heads are severed. Since they have an open circulatory system and low to no blood pressure, so if their head pops off, the wound would naturally coagulate and become visible. Also, cockroaches don't require their heads for breathing because they do so through tiny openings on their bodies called spiracles. Although a headless cockroach will eventually die of starvation, but it will take weeks for them to do so. Bees. There is a good reason why they are included on this list because, despite the fact that a bee may be dead, it still has the ability to sting you, just not in the way you might expect. Dead bees obviously can't go flying around and actively sting you. The problem is that even if the bee is long dead, their sting will still be effective, and more crucially, the venom delivery system will continue to function. When a bee stings, the sting detaches from the bee's body and embeds itself in the victim's skin. A tiny muscle and organ that both hold and release the venom are associated to this sting. Bees' actions are not controlled by the bee's brain, but rather by involuntary impulses, so it's not safe to pick up a dead bee. Chicken. Chickens can run around with their heads severed, yes, and there's a very simple reason for this. The reason is human error. This error happens to be a butcher's error. The chicken's central nervous system is substantially different from that of humans. Some fundamental body functions are managed not by the brain, but rather by specific regions of the brainstem. So most of the time when the butcher chops the chicken's head too high, it's just the forebrain of the chicken that falls off with the head, leaving the brainstem and cerebellum largely intact. Octopus. When an octopus has its limbs chopped off, it still moves. This is due to the peculiar central neurological system of octopuses, which also explains why their arms remain mobile even after being amputated. Additionally, these arms can still respond to stimuli even if they are no longer connected to the main brain. In fact, they continue to respond even after the octopus has been long dead. These movements may continue up to a week after the octopus has passed away. Frogs. It has been discovered that frogs have been shown to move even after their brains have stopped functioning. If you leave the frog's head intact but take out its brain, a headed but brainless frog actually behaves very similarly to a frog with its green matter perfectly intact. If you squeeze its feet, it will hop away. If you put it in water, it will swim to the side and climb out, and the most astounding of all is that it will even croak intently if you stroke its back. The factor that contributes to the zombie-like tendencies of frogs is the ability of the reflex reaction, which fires the required electrical impulses to induce a muscle to contract or expand. Flies. Flies are capable of going into suspended animation and surviving sub-zero temperatures. They can be frozen for days. After giving them some heat, they will be back as normal. Additionally, female flies can survive after being decapitated for several days. These beheaded females adopt an upright posture similar to that of a regular fly and are capable of performing sophisticated tasks, like preening and flying. Snakes. Snakes can still kill you even after having their heads cut off because their heads still have fangs and their poison sacs can still bite you and infect you with deadly venom even though they are no longer connected to the rest of the snake's body. The snake also possesses 2 heat-sensitive pits on either side of its face which it uses to identify potential threats. Currently, these pits may still detect danger even after it has passed away for several hours. This means that even though it appears to be dead, the snake's head will continue to defend itself and may bite you if you approach it or attempt to pick it up.